Hi, thank you for joining me for another episode of Intuition Your First Sense. I am so grateful to be here in 2021, able to still communicate with you and keep this podcast going with a subject matter and just to be present, quite frankly, because 2020 brought about a lot of challenges for us. And one of the reasons that I haven't focused too much on it is you guys already know what's going on in your lives and the challenges that are there. And I feel like sometimes I just want to bring different ways of looking at things, but also a different way of feeling about the process or the pressures or everything that we're under. And I don't think you always need to be reminded what they are, because we are all intelligent beings, and learning to navigate this soul integration with human self. And that means different things for different people. So I never want to assume that anyone is impacted in the same way as the next person, because I know for myself during 2020, there wasn't a lot of change to my daily life because I was already working from home. A year before we were told we had to work from home, I had already created a virtual business and was pretty much in my own condo 5 days a week anyway. So there wasn't really much of a shift that happened. And although I think that really helped me to be solid and stable for my clients and friends and partner and family, I feel like it also gave me a great sense of appreciation for the steps I had taken ahead of time to create the life in which that I wanted to live that might be very different than how other people see their lives. And again, that individuality is so important. So there were some gifts to 2020, and I would actually challenge you to sit down and do a list of what were those gifts for you. What did you learn, or are you still learning, having gone through the process? And this is an important thing to do each year, and to take an inventory, to look around and see what do you want to change. It's a great idea to do a list of what you would like to release. And if you want to, you can burn that. I suggest that if it's safe for you to do so. And then to create a list of what you would like to bring in, not only in this year, 2021, but also moving forward. And what would you like to see and how would you like to be in the world? Because it's not only about physical manifestations. I would say it's more about where is that joy in your life and where is the meaning that's coming about from it, and how are you interacting with yourself. So as we transition to January and into the beginning of the new calendar year, keeping in mind that this is an expansion and a continuation of your physical life that you've already 100% successful in every day before now, because you're still here and you're interacting and hopefully asking yourself, how can I grow this year? What is it that I would like to bring to the world? And that can be in your outlook on life. It can be in your helping others. It can be in you learning how to cook amazing home meals. And it can be enjoying your own ability to sing, to dance, to really be appreciative of the fact that you're here. Don't underestimate these things. They are huge when it comes to connecting the soul with the human self. And we often tend to put that last. And for those that have been taught to be the givers of the world, we really put that at the back of the list. And I feel like there's an opportunity through everything changing anyway. You may as well look at that and question, how do you want to be in the world and what do you want to bring to the world? Because if you're here and you're still sucking oxygen, you are contributing to our greater whole. And not everybody has to open a business or stand on a stage or be front of the pack, big mouths like myself. You can be the person who encourages another, encourages your kids, encourage yourself, whatever lights you up. I don't want to be the one to give a list of what brings value to each person's life, because it's so individual. And I really would love for everyone to hear that this year, that your individual year is dependent on you. It's not dependent on someone else bringing you joy or opportunity or success or anything like that. It's on you. And I feel like the more that we embrace that idea and feel excited by it, feel proud of the fact that we get to create some change if we'd like to, or we get to quietly appreciate what our soul joy is. We have choices, and I think that this year is huge in that. The energy of this year is pretty much wide open, and while that can create a little bit of confusion or anxiousness, anxiety, it also brings a lot of excitement and joy. The energy that I'm feeling, and this is primarily through the end of February, is I keep feeling this 3-day on, 1-day off pattern where there's 3 days of, I got this. This is amazing. I'm up. I know what I'm doing. I've got direction. I'm moving forward. And again, whatever it is that's bringing joy to your life and whatever you would like to contribute to the world. And then this 1 day of woof, like a lower energy. I'm not saying depression, I'm just saying a lower energy than the other 3. Now, I don't necessarily want you to mark this on the calendar. I would rather that you get into the practice of feeling energy so that you can feel your own pattern, because it might affect you differently. You may feel 2 days down, 2 days up. And there's not such a difference in between the energy frequencies, like it's going to be an extreme or anything. But if you can look for that, if you can know that it's part of a universal energy, my hope is that when you're feeling a little less than productive or connected or focused, that you are kind to yourself and you start asking the question, wait a minute, is this not my energy? Because in all likelihood, you are being affected. Again, if you're sucking oxygen, you're being affected by the energy that's happening in the universe. So if you know and can remind yourself that there's this pattern that's occurring, you can also use it to your benefit. So you may feel the upswing and get yourself to a place where you can focus on task and you can pound things out left and right. And then when the day and you feel the ebb of energy, you can be in the receiving, you can be in the allowing of that energy to flow, which is a much more effective manifesting tool anyway. It just so happens that I feel this pattern that will continue through the end of February. And then there are a few months of what feel like being able to take really deep breaths and being able to relax. It would be a great time to begin a conscious breathing or meditation practice or some kind of connective work that allows you to become familiar with your own patterns and your own flow of energy. This year is one that is our blossoming year. It feels like the sunshine and our petals are going to be reaching for that. There's no rush. Don't worry about like missing message or anything like that. Again, use the energy of the universe so that you just work less. This last year, we were a bit like salmon swimming upstream through one challenge after another. And while life does bring some challenges, that's fantastic. So does your soul. This 2021 feels like it's got some electricity to it that is going to require you to get clear and to write down and formulate plans and be willing to say no to things that don't resonate with you and to stand firm on the ones that do and maybe give it a little bit more effort. I actually chose the word focus for my word for this year, or part of my statement for this year, because I find it helps to have something to literally bring me back to my commitment to myself. Last year was actually a statement of being unapologetically myself. So unapologetical was my word. And that didn't mean that I was without responsibility for my actions or my behaviors. It simply meant that I was going to be who I am, take the opportunity to say things if there was an opening, and to still be kind about it, but no longer feel apologetic for any feelings that I had, any perception I had. I was willing to change my perception if someone could say that's not how I saw it, Vicky, or have you considered that this might be the perspective that you're missing here? I was quite willing to, and actually that did happen a couple times, while holding the energy of being unapologetically myself. It allowed me to create some boundaries that I needed, and that are necessary when you are a solopreneur and when you are expanding your business and wanting to impact others while not losing self, because it's really important that I stay in integrity with myself. And sometimes that takes a lot of courage and grit, really. And I have that, so it's good. So this year I decided focus was my word, because I was pretty out of focus last year. I went with the flow. I purposely chose on some occasions to do that because I had a couple experiences with a back injury and then Lyme disease. And I thought, you know what, girl, if you don't learn from this, you just have no one else to complain to because you are not listening to the messages. So I decided I needed to really listen to what I ask others to do, which is be kind to themselves. And while I don't feel like I coasted through the year, I definitely put it in third gear, rather up in fifth, where I'm much more comfortable. So focus being this year's word for me also means that there are different areas that I can use that in. So could I focus on some rest? Could I focus on writing that second book? Could I focus on making sure that I'm connecting with people even if I'm not seeing them physically? So it would take on different iterations for whatever aspect of life that is most present at the moment. And I would suggest that you do the same, that you create your own energy for 21, that you listen to what it is that you need, what is it that your own soul is calling out to you to expand, and then have a word that focuses on that brings your attention back gently, to be kind. I'm not a huge fan of New Year's resolutions, because to be resolute, I feel like, is to be stubborn and not always listen to the change of tides and the things that are going on. And if we're so fixated on a goal or a resolution, we often miss the messages in between. So while goals, intentions, aspiration points are really important, it's equally as important for you to feel your way through and to know what is the energy that you want to create this year. What is the theme that you want to create? And write it on a piece of paper and put it in your wallet, or put a sticky note on your odometer. Send yourself a text occasionally. Do something that can bring you back into that space of, oh, that's right, this is what I wanted to have as in yoga they call it the drishti, that point where you can focus. Because when you have something to put your eyesight to, your intention, your attention, your balance is actually better. And I feel like so often that's where a lack of progress happens, or where we get so distracted, is because we have not picked our drishti. We have not picked our focal point, and for whatever that is for you. So have a conversation with yourself and decide what that is, because you are the only one walking around connected to your soul. You're the only one that can come up with that intention for you. And if you don't make that connection or that commitment, then it's easy to get pulled off by other people's needs, and it's easy to get distracted by the noise that is social media, or TV watching, or getting into the drama of somebody else's relationship stuff. So this year, set that commitment to yourself and have it be one that is attainable. So in picking focus, I know I can attain that simply because I have already set a practice of recording the podcast and making sure that it gets to my assistant and that it gets edited and that it gets sent out. So I can depend on that as when I feel unfocused, I can say, nope, every Wednesday there's an episode, so you have focus somewhere. You just have to figure out where you put it. So whatever your word is, whatever your intention is, just set that for yourself. You don't have to announce it. You don't have to tell other people you're doing it. You do need to remind yourself that that is what you'd like to create. And in this year, numerologically, it's a 5 year. So 5 years need direction. They need help in focusing too, because they can kind of be floaty. They're fun, and it will definitely create within you a desire to stretch and to embrace new ideas, especially towards the collective future. It supports action, experimentation, and not just thinking. You can't just think your way to manifestation. You actually have to move thy buns. So the magic that happens is when you use that soul desire along with your ability as a human to think critically and to be willing to change minds. And a 5 year will do that. And it brings a lot of distractions because it is a fun and it wants to be social. So while we're not able to be that, it could challenge your own commitment to eradicating this virus. So even though there will be some flexibility and some ambiguity in the year, there always is, embrace that uncertainty. It's a good year to crack open what your old beliefs may have been or what you believed from other people saying. Part of what's happening is so many old paradigms and belief systems and worlds are dissolving, but the new worlds aren't quite there yet. So this transition and the updating and the new programming that we're all creating, well, we are contributing to that. So be part of it. Be something where you can feel proud that you contributed to a collective feeling of possibilities and good treatment of others and support of others and whatever their joy may be and whatever their life may be. It can feel a little spinny at times, and the universal energy is a little spinny, like I said, but that doesn't mean that you have to lose your own sense of self or focus. It takes commitment, it takes grounding. Make sure you're doing your grounding exercises. But allow this energy that is unpredictable at its best, because it all is based on our individual contribution too. Allow that to be exciting for you and get in curiosity and wonder of what could be created this year. Be honest about your emotions. So many times people go into a new year with this, I'm going to work out 7 days a week. You're not. Okay, if you do, good for you. Make sure you're taking some rest days somewhere and stretching and everything. But most of the time we set the bar so high and then we're not able to attain it because of the other areas of life that need attention. And then we feel like we failed or somehow not met our own potential, when it would be much more productive and fun to place those incremental goals in there and to decide, first I'm going to look at how I want to feel in this year, how I want to feel every day. Then I'm going to decide what I'm going to do to contribute. Then I'm going to decide what needs to go, and you can do these in any order really. And then I'm going to put some action to it, because without action you're just a lot of hot air. To be truthful, just a lot of hot air, and that is going to be taxing for people to hear. So this year is also about showing up And again, you get to decide what that is. I want you to have an understanding that while you're here physically, you are merging your soul and your human self. And if you would allow both of them to play nicely together, this whole human thing would be so much fun, a lot less work. And if you pay attention to the energy that's going on universally, either by listening to podcasts like this or others, where people are kind of mapping it out. I don't like to give too many specifics again, because everybody experiences their life in their own practice, in their own understanding, in their own programming from, where they come from and who helped form them, even though I totally know we can shift that. I think to make specific, this is how it's going to be, also blocks a lot of brilliance that you have. And I just feel like for our entire universe, if we can have all the creatives and all the ones that live from the heart, from the gut, from the head, all these amazing parts, and we're working together, that we can edge forward this bit of humanity where we care about each other, where we consider the other being, where we respect culture and geography and just the amazing plethora of beauty that is the human spirit. I do believe that we can achieve great things in a year's time. And there will always be knuckle draggers. There will always be people who act like Neanderthals, but that does not mean that you have to align your vibration with theirs. We must be aware of them, but we do not have to placate any longer. And I'm asking for your help. I'm asking for your help in raising the vibration of this planet, of this universe, so that we can see the eradication of racism and sexism and patriarchy and just all the stuff that is no longer serving us. But we have to contribute. We can't just talk about it amongst ourselves. We have to actually show up. So one of the ways you can do that is to connect with yourself and create a life that actually becomes an example of what is possible, and then help others to connect to what they may want to create in the world, and be open to hearing it. It might not be what you want to do, but it definitely, each person's desire and dreams has merit. I wish for you the most expansive, fun, learning, creative, playful, sexy, educational, unapologetically amazing year. And I look forward to hearing how you have connected with your own soul's growth and brought that to your human self. I'm going to have a course that's launching that will teach you exactly how to do that. And I hope to see you there. Look for that. Some news upcoming shortly. And I want to hear from you. So if there's subjects that you'd like me to cover or to have someone on, I'm happy to do that. Thank you so much for listening, subscribing, sharing, downloading. The reviews, you guys, you make my heart just absolutely sing. And I wish they would let us respond to it. I just think that would be so much fun. And if somebody knows a way to do that, please let me know. I have looked under a lot of rocks and haven't found a way to do that. I just think it would be lovely to be able to acknowledge. So if you've left a review, trust me, I have read it and I appreciate it. And I'm so grateful to have you in my life. I wish you the best, and I'll see you in the next episode. Thank you for listening to this episode. If you're interested in Wisdom Wednesday, feel free to go to the website, VickiBaird.com, and check under booking, and you'll find the information there to sign up for the subscription. I am so grateful that you listened to this episode and that you're participating, and I hope you have more of an understanding of how values and our intentions can lead to completing some goals, which then allows us to feel fulfilled. I wish you all the best and be well.